Hi, this is Joel Joy from CST department second year. I'm going to show you the program and I'm going to do the fourth program in the object oriented programming C++ lab. I'll show you the question. I have been given the second question actually. 1 minute. The questions are calculated using this formula for each student. Registration number of the student modulus number of questions plus 1, that is my registration number is 45, number of questions is 11, so 45 modulus 11 plus 1, that is 1 plus 1, that is 2. My question the question given to me is second question. Create a class called time that a separate integer separate integer member data for hours, minutes and seconds. One constructor should initialize this data to 0 and another should initialize it to fixed value. Another member function should display it in 11 59 format, that is 12-hour format. The final member function should add two objects of type time passed as arguments, and the main function should create two initialized time objects and one that is initialized. Then it should add two initialized values together, leaving the result in third variable. Finally, it should display the value of this variable. Make appropriate member function constant. I'll show you the program. This is a program. The first line hash include iostream is a call for the head compiler for calling the header file which contains input and output streams or functions. Using namespace stds for using the standard input and output operations. I create a class time as told in the question. There are two domains inside the class, private and public. Here we use two domains. Inside the private domain I declare the variables hours, minutes, seconds, which are of data type integer. Then inside the public, so private it cannot be accessed outside the class, and public it can be accessed outside the class. Inside this I create a constructor. Constructor should have the same name as the class name. So time, this constructor doesn't have any arguments. This for initializing the variables to 0. That means hours, minutes, seconds are the variables. They are initialized to 0 respectively. Then another constructor time, that is class name. It has arguments passed, that is h, m and s, which represents hours, minutes and seconds given by the user. All these are of type integer. The variables hours, minutes and seconds will be assigned values h, m and s. These represent the values passed as arguments. Then for other function we use setters and getters. First, for displaying the time in standard format, we use a setter function display, which is of type integer. Arguments h, mi and sc representing the hours, minutes and seconds of type integer are passed. I use a while loop. If hours is not equal to 12 or minutes is not equal to 60 or seconds is not equal to 60, these are standard formats. Like if it is not in standard format, then we have to convert it into standard format. So if second is greater than 60, we have to make it into standard format. That means 60 should be deducted from the seconds, so that till it becomes till the seconds becomes less than 60. So when we deduct 60 from the second, 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. So the minute variable is incremented. Then else, if minutes is greater than 60, then we have to make it less than 60, so minute is deducted by 60. At the same time, 60 minutes is 1 hour, so our variable is incremented by 1. Otherwise, if hours is greater than 12, then hour minus 12, this makes this into the hours into standard format, that is less than 12. Else, if hours is less than 12 or minutes is less than 60 or seconds is less than 60, this is OR operator and this is less than operator. Then we have the standard format, so we just break out of the loop. Up to here, these statements will be repeated until the variables becomes in standard time format. When it becomes standard time format, it just breaks and comes out of the while loop. Then the time is displayed using the cout statement. The time is the hour variable given by the user, then the semicolon type operator, and then the minute variable, then the second variable. So it can be displayed in standard format. All these are calculated, already made into standard format using this while loop. Then the line ends, so endl. Then another then we use getter variables. Get hours. This is for returning the value of hours, that is the value of hours is a variable in private, so if you have to access it, you have to use a getter variable, so return hours. Then similarly, get minutes, get seconds, it returns the value of the value in the minute variable and value in the second variable respectively. Then as told in this question, we make a add object function, that is setter function, which is of type integer. Two variables, two objects T1 and T2 are passed, which are of type time, class time. T1 dot hours, that represents the value of hours in the object T1. T2 dot hours represent the value of hours in the object T2. Both of these are added and assigned to the variable hours, that is in private. Minutes, similarly, minutes and seconds also are added and assigned to the respective variables minutes and seconds. Then we close the class, we come to the main function. First time T1 and empty, like no arguments are there, that means the constructor which has no arguments is invoked. I will show you. This is the constructor, so automatically the hours, minutes and seconds are assigned to 0. Then the variables which we use in this function are the main function are declared. A, B, C of type integer and CH of type character. We use a keyword char. Then using the do while loop, we can repeatedly ask the user to enter the value if required. First we ask the user, so first the object T1 is created, hours, minutes and seconds are assigned to 0. Already the constructor is invoked. Then we ask the user to enter the number of hours. The user gives it, we store it in variable A. Then we ask the user to enter the number of minutes. The user gives the value of the minutes and it is stored in B. Similarly, the seconds also are given by the user. It is stored in C variable using the cin statement. Then another object T2 of class time is created. Here T2, A, B, C the arguments are passed. So we have another constructor which has 3 arguments, that is invoked, and so this object is created. So another object T3 is created, which also doesn't have any arguments. So again the constructor which has no arguments is invoked. Time, which is of class time. This object is part of the class time. So T3 dot set add objects. So as told in the question, the objects T1, the values of minutes, hours and seconds in objects T1 and T2 are added and stored in T3. So we just call T3 dot set add object. We pass arguments as objects T1 and T2. That is, I'll show you the. So this function is called, and the objects are added, and the two objects are added and stored in the third object. To display it in standard format, we call set function display in the object T3. The arguments T3 dot get hours, T3 dot get minutes and T3 dot get seconds first. That is, hours, minutes and seconds are passed to the display function. I'll show you the display. This was a display function. It will first convert it into standard format, time format, 12 hours format, and then using the cout statement, the time is displayed. Then we ask the user whether they want or he or she wants to again perform this operation. If the user wants to perform it again, he has to press Y. If Y is pressed, then it is stored in character ch, and using the while loop and or operators and double equal to operator, if the variable character is equal to y smaller case, lower case y or uppercase y, then again these operations are performed. Otherwise it just comes out of the loop, and since it is an integer main, we have to return some integer type value. Since there is no specific integer type value to return over here, we just return 0. I'll just show you the output of this program. So since there is no errors, we'll run the program. Enter the number of hours. I just give like 13. It is not in standard format, but this function will convert it into standard format. 67 and 78. So first it is converted into standard format, and then it is displayed using the setup function. If you want to continue, you can press Y, and now I'll enter in standard format. 12, like 50, like 45 and 45. So it is displayed in the standard format. Do you want to continue? Now we'll exit, and so the output is successfully obtained. Thank you.